Bitcoin is pulling back just a little bit on the charts. I always like to go over to the big board for Bitcoin to kind of take a look at it here.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, Gareth Soloway dives into trading Bitcoin during a market rally and shares insights on the buzz around Trump coin. Let's catch his expert take and explore these exciting trends.
This is the pre-market data on the S&P or the SPY. This was yesterday's close right here, right? So that was your close yesterday. You had your little initial pop on the S&P on the Netflix move and then the grind up. Little bit of a pullback there, but for the most part, a grind into the 8 p.m. close on the after-hours session right there. When markets reopened at 4 in the morning, a little bit of a push up, and then a slow float up into the open today. And again, we're less than 30 minutes away from the stock market opening. So again, just generally net positive, not a huge gain, about 0.5% on the S&P. NASDAQ, again, should be up more because of Netflix, because of we're seeing Oracle rally, NVIDIA rally. A lot of these bigger chip names are rallying to the upside. All right. So let's go to the daily chart. Yesterday, we talked about how we were stuck in this parallel, and this level would be a key level to watch going into yesterday's close. Again, just to reiterate on what these levels were, you had these lines, right? This parallel line here with this line up here, which was these three little pivots. Yesterday, we closed on or fractionally above it. As of now, it looks like we'll push above that today, but I do want to wait till the close. Trading the close today can look at this and see where we are. Did we hold our gains today, or do we see institutional selling? So again, little things like that need to be watched. Okay, so again, markets looking to open higher today. Risk on continues. We'll go into the Bitcoin chart in just a little bit. Gold continues to rally, which is kind of interesting because you're seeing the VIX come down, which is the fear index, right? But gold keeps going up, and you have to say to yourself, well, why is the risk-off safety trade almost back to new all-time highs while we're still seeing money flowing into names like Oracle and the S&P and the NASDAQ and NVIDIA? So there's a little bit of a dichotomy here, which again is creating a little bit of question marks in my mind that I want to continue to explore with you guys and see what it means. But let's get into our latest here. Let's get into our earnings from Netflix. This, again, the earnings, interestingly enough, you can see right here. I mean, look at this monster move here. I have this level that I'm going to watch on the daily chart. It's a parallel. The level here is right around 980. So I'm curious, do we close today above 980 or below? Because, again, this upper trend line, going back to this pivot high from 2023, which is parallel to these lows, are going to be something to behold. But again, right now we are trading just below that 1,000 level. And I want to go over here and just discuss something. So listen, the markets are always right. Price action. Right now we're trading, again, really just above this line here, right around $990 to $1,000. But basically, earnings beat by a few pennies, revenues beat by a very minimal amount. In fact, earnings beat by only about 1.5% better than expectations. That's not a big beat. Normally, you would say, okay, if that was the only metric here, the stock might even be down today just because, again, it has had such an incredible run. But the key was their subscriber numbers. Now, this is where things get a little shadier, right? So I always try to be straight with you guys and point things out while also pointing out that price action is truth. But obviously, I want you guys to know the details on what is going on in the underbelly. So let's look at this. So subscriber growth was massive. They came in above, almost at 19 million subscribers added. They were only supposed to add about 9 million. So we're talking about 10 million additional subscribers essentially being added. Now, this is where it gets shady, is that number one, you had the Tyson Paul fight. So you got to figure at least a couple million people signed up for that. The question is, are they keeping their subscriptions? The next factor is the NFL games on Christmas. Now, Christmas was right at the end of the quarter. So you have people signing up. And listen, if you're like the ad-based tier is what, $7.99, $8.99, whatever it is. But if you're a football fan like I am and you didn't have Netflix, just to get those games alone, it was probably worth the $8 to get it, right? And so the key is this, is that they're giving us these subscriber numbers with people signing up at the end of December. We don't know if they canceled. So let's say 1 or 2 million signed up for the football. Let's say 3 or 4 million signed up for the Jake Paul fight, Tyson fight. Again, we don't know about those cancellations. Now, you might say, okay, well, we'll know in the first quarter. No, we won't. This is where it gets even crazier. Netflix will no longer, after this quarter, Netflix will no longer report its subscription numbers. So this was it. This is all you're getting. Going forward, you're only going to get revenue and earnings numbers. I mean, again, call me a conspiracy theorist, call me whatever you want, but this seems a little bit weird, especially that they put these football games right at the end of the quarter to get that boost up. Again, for all we know, 2 million, 3 million people have canceled since then, but they will never be reporting that in the future. It's just what it is. So that's one of the reasons why I think this is a fade here. 1,000 even number, which is what we're tagging here. Again, even numbers have some sort of amazing factor to them. I would actually look to fade this and bring it back in. I'm not saying it's going to come, by the way, I don't think it's going to come back to the break even today, but I think it could come back to, let's say, 975, 965, maybe even 950 today. We'll see where it closes, but if it doesn't even come back there today, I still think it's a fade on a swing trade basis back down, as I got to believe smart money, institutional money, realizes what I just said, and they got to understand that, again, chances are this was the last hurrah for Netflix, since this is the last time they were reporting subscription numbers, and again, we'll likely see price from the institutional side they'll be dumping into this.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has sparked excitement in the cryptocurrency world with bold predictions about Bitcoin's potential. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Fink revealed that sovereign wealth funds are exploring the idea of allocating 2% to 5% of their portfolios to Bitcoin. Such moves, he explained, could push Bitcoin's price to unprecedented levels, ranging between $500,000 and $700,000. This growing interest, Fink noted, is fueled by concerns over political and economic instability, which are driving more investors toward Bitcoin as a safeguard against currency debasement. Fink highlighted Bitcoin's appeal as a globally accessible financial instrument, emphasizing its ability to provide security amidst fears of local economic challenges. Bitcoin's recent performance further supports this narrative, with the cryptocurrency trading at $104,806 and rising nearly 8% over the past week. The increasing attention from sovereign wealth funds signals Bitcoin's transformation into a mainstream asset class. Major Wall Street figures are also expressing bullish views on Bitcoin. Brian Moynihan, CEO of Bank of America, suggested that integrating cryptocurrency into the banking system as a payments product, much like Apple Pay, could unlock new possibilities. Robin Vince, CEO of BNY Mellon, echoed this sentiment, describing blockchain-based digital assets as innovative technologies that could reshape the financial system in the coming decades. With BlackRock's shares fund already holding over 546,000 Bitcoin worth $60 billion, and the success of the spot Bitcoin ETF, it's clear that institutional adoption is accelerating. Analysts predict that major banks will soon begin offering crypto custody services, solidifying Bitcoin's position as a key player in the future of finance.
So really what we have in this situation is that we retraced up into that level, right? So there's your double top and your upsloping, and I've gone over this every day, but what you do is you get a topping tail here, and then very often when you get a topping tail, so let's just draw this in here, here's a topping tail has to occur at basically a high in the last 90 days or longer. That is what it did. It actually pierced this double top, so it was a high, and you have to have a body that's in the lower, basically 25% close, and that's what, again, that creates. When you get a topping tail, I would say about 70% of the time you get a retrace of that. And so generally you'll get, basically there's a lot of bullishness here, and the institutions are dumping into the retail buying. That's why these candles usually form, right? You get bigger money dumping in after it pushes up. That creates that long tail or wick on top. But what ends up happening is that the buyers that were so eager to buy even at the highs, they're still there. And so oftentimes they'll come back in and price will rally up and retrace, and then you get your bigger fall over or rollover. So what we're curious to see on Bitcoin is, does that happen here? Now, the way you would know if it doesn't happen, any daily close above the topping tail high right there at about 109,300, that would negate the topping tail. It would then be void, and you would start to expect a break to the upside to about 120. As long as this holds in place, double top, trendline cross, and topping tail retrace, the path of least resistance, slight favorability, slight probability would be to the downside back to 92. So we'll keep an eye on that. For that to happen, by the way, the stock market's going to have to roll over. Like if the stock market's going to keep going higher and making new all-time highs, very unlikely Bitcoin would roll over. Again, it's a risk asset. It behaves as such. We've seen it roll over when the NASDAQ rolls over.
Robert Kiyosaki, the renowned author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has made his stance on cryptocurrency clear, rejecting the newly launched Trump coin, TrueUMP, in favor of Bitcoin. In a recent post on social media platform X, Kiyosaki shared his thoughts on the Trump coin, introduced by former President Donald Trump on January 17. Shortly after, First Lady Melania Trump launched her own meme coin, MELNIA. While both coins experienced initial surges in value, their momentum quickly faded, leaving many investors questioning their long-term viability. Kiyosaki expressed his skepticism about the Trump coin, stating, "What do I think about TrueUMP coin? Not much. Unfortunately, the whole crypto world has become a tranny, transforming from the future to a farce." This remark underscores his belief in the reliability of time-tested investments over speculative ventures. For years, Kiyosaki has championed Bitcoin as a safeguard against inflation and dependable store of value. Often calling it people's money, he has consistently advocated for its role as a hedge against economic uncertainty. In his post, he reaffirmed his commitment to tangible assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin, rejecting financial instruments such as exchange-traded funds, ETF. "As a personal rule, I do not invest in any ETF. I am old, and I prefer real," he explained, reflecting his broader philosophy of prioritizing foundational investments. Kiyosaki's bullish outlook on Bitcoin remains unwavering. He recently predicted that Bitcoin's price could reach $250,000 by 2025, further solidifying his confidence in the cryptocurrency's potential. By doubling down on Bitcoin, he reinforces his commitment to accumulating more of the digital asset, highlighting its enduring value amid a market increasingly filled with speculative alternatives. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.